What is the driving ambition of this project? The driving ambition of this project is for us to give power to the grassroots level, to give power to the people, to make the people take their responsibility and solve their own problems, working in close collaboration with the government. The big picture here is we intend to build a big society. And to build this big society, it is not just the responsibility of the government, it is the responsibility of each and every individual in our territory. It is the responsibility of all Ambazonians. It is my responsibility. It is your responsibility, and we are all in this together. Let me just give you a clear overview. We have achieved so much in a short period of time due to the braveness of our brothers and sisters back at home, defending our territories, supporting the self-defense initiative, and supporting the humanitarian efforts. Now, it is important for us at this point in time to do a 360-degree feedback and look to ourselves and ask ourselves, can we do more? Yes, I believe we can do more. So we need to re-strategize. We need to re-evaluate our strategies, our degree of readiness, our level of commitment into the struggle as families, as communities. When we do this, we will be able to build that big society, which is going to make us more resilient to the enemy. So, we do have some agreed government policies around the Amber Peace Plan, which is local government area by local government area, or which many people call LGA by LGA. So the first point is we want to give communities power to support self-defense and humanitarian issues. So when we're talking about this, we have two communities, two distinct communities. Our community in the diaspora, or the Ambazonians in the diaspora, counting, we talk of 3 million. We hope we are 3 million. And our brothers and sisters on ground zero who have been molested for the last 57 years and who are still being molested on a daily basis. We in the diaspora, our job is simple. We need to do everything possible to mobilize resources for our people who are suffering on ground zero. The people on ground zero have shown us their resilience over the last 2 years. They have shown their determination to be free. They have shown their determination to come out of the colonization under the French rule through French Cameroons. So, with the Amber Peace Plan, the second point is we want to get communities involved in creating a solid framework for the government and for the revolution. How does this work? What are the advantages of such a framework? The first one is decision making. It is important that all decisions that affect the life of Ambazonians, both in the diaspora and on ground zero, should be based on a broad-based consultation with grassroots level. We have to leverage civil societies in the diaspora and on ground zero to take this decision. And it is important that this flow of information from bottom up to top down, that is from the people on ground zero to us in the diaspora and to the government, should be seamless. The other advantage is secrecy. We have a lot of tools in this difficult moment to use. The dialects, the different languages, which the Lord blessed us with, the talent. We should be able to use this to communicate information among ourselves. We should be able to use this to defeat the enemy. As we come together, another advantage is we're going to identify ourselves, we're going to register ourselves, we're going to come together and keep a registry of all the Ambazonians in the diasporas and those on ground zero. We're going to keep records of the heroes who have died. We're going to keep records of brothers who are in jail. We're going to keep records of displaced brothers. We're going to keep records of brothers who are in refugees camp. This is important for our nation. We are one people. We need to stand for each other. Then the next step is communication and implementation. This is key. We need to identify the needs of our people on ground zero, and we need to work hard as brothers and sisters in our local government area to identify these needs, generate income, resources to be able to meet the needs of our people. We are turning back now to help our people through community development efforts when we engage in local government area by local government area. These are going to be solutions as we try to build a big society whereby we bring the capabilities of all local government area to a level which is desired. We know it won't be easy, but if we work together, we mobilize each other, we speak the same language, we trust each other and work together, these things we can easily achieve. Then the last point is increasing mobilization and intelligence gathering. The increasing mobilization is geared towards brothers and sisters, fellow comrades in the diaspora, wherever you might be. You have to do your job as an Amazonian to look for your brother, to look for your sister, bring them to your local government area, convince them to support the initiatives of helping our people back at home. Our people on ground zero need us. Those on ground zero who can be able to help us with any intelligence that can help us keep our people secure, keep our people safe, will be welcome. The next government policy, we still cover this. So now, this picture here, we have 4 triangles. Now, with the diaspora, we have the diaspora on ground zero, the diaspora on my left, and ground zero on my right. So the blue triangle is talking about the civil society. We have a civil society in the diaspora, and we have a civil society on ground zero. The difference between the two civil societies is we want to build a big society in the diaspora. This big society is going to increase our economic potential to support the civil society on ground zero. As you can see, the civil society on ground zero is a society we want to secure right now. We want to free our people from the so-called Kale. These things, knock doors, break doors, arrest our people. We want to keep our people safe. Our brothers and sisters, most of them spend time in bushes just because they are afraid of being picked up in the night, abducted. Some of them killed, or some of them thrown in the dungeons in some of these Fiat La Republic prisons. We want to keep these people safe. Then now we have the red triangle, which is self-defense. So the efforts of self-defense here in the diaspora is we have experts who are going to transmit the knowledge they have to our brothers and sisters back at home defending our territory. As we help each other with expert knowledge, with the financing, we grow in strength. We are more, our society back at home will be secure, and we are going to get the freedom we desire. So all we need is the freedom as we are trying to turn the last bend that takes us to the home stretch, leading to Bongo Square in Boya. So, as you can see here, the image you see, this slide will show you the LGA communication. We have the people, we want to secure the people, and we want to do that fast and most efficient, and we're going to use secrecy to do these things. Down the line, I'm going to explain to you how we're going to do this. So the third government policy is to encourage our citizens to exercise their civic responsibility. How do they do this? The citizens in the diaspora. We have to elect country, regional, and state LGA representatives. They will also have to elect diaspora worldwide LGA administrators. There are words I'm going to use here. I will be talking of representatives when I'm talking of a country like the UK, like Germany. And I will be talking of administrators when I look at LGA worldwide administrators. So this diagram should be able to explain things well. We have the community, we have the organization, and we have the reference. So already we have the worldwide community, which is all Ambazonians. No matter the ideas, no matter which group you belong, we are all in this together. And we need a government to lead us to where. At the next level, which is the country, region, or state, we know regions like the DC exist, like California, and then we have countries like the UK, South Africa, China, Dubai, and all the like. At this level, we have country or state coordinators. And the good thing is these individuals have been doing a lot of work for us to be where we are together, where we are right now. I take my hats off and I salute all the brothers and sisters who have been working at country heads and coordinators for regions all over the world. They have pushed this struggle to a limit we never thought would be. Now, why are we doing the reorganization? It's just because we need to give more force to these individuals. We need to reach more people. We need to go to the grassroots level. We need to go to lower tiers of the hierarchy. So, to all the country heads and country coordinators, I tell you today, you're going to help us pilot this project. You're going to be the champion of this project in your countries of origin. You're going to be the first point of contact by the people of Ambazonia. The people of Ambazonia identify your country coordinators, ask them. Local government area in your country. When you start doing this, you're doing your civic responsibility to be able to help us implement this project. Then the next level, which is what we want to elect now, we want to elect LGA representatives, which means we're taking an example of a country like South Africa. We will expect to elect LGA representatives, 60 LGA representatives from South Africa. These individuals must be trustworthy, they must be responsible, they must be patriotic, and they must be true statesmen and women. So it is your responsibility as you go out to appoint individuals, to vote individuals, look around and get the best for our nation, because Ambazonia deserves the best. So in countries, we're going to expect LGA representatives. Then, when we elect the LGA representatives, we want to have worldwide LGA communities, which means that for a specific LGA, like for example, Bafut, if in the UK they elected one of their LGA representatives, he should be able to do a parallel walkthrough with all the LGA representatives of Bafut around the world. They will sit together and they build a committee. They will have a committee, or they will have their assembly together, and from there, they select a committee that will be able to lead their people. And they will select a leader, which we call the LGA administrator for Bafut. And that is the individual who will be able to give us every bit of information we need about that specific LGA. I hope this is clear. As we go ahead, we'll be talking about country coordinators. You already know this. We'll go to another tier, which LGA representatives will be later in the country. So now, if you look at this figure, it's just a grand chart of the whole structure, which we're just taking an example of Germany and California, where we're expecting 60 LGA representatives to be elected in Germany, and then one thing is important here. We do want county chairs to be elected. So when the LGA representatives are elected in a specific country, then if we take an example of Momo that has how many? 5 LGAs, then those elected there can come together and elect a county chair, because we don't want LGAs to operate in silos. We need to work together with each other. So as we go now to the 60 or more worldwide LGA administrators, we also elect 14 worldwide county delegates. So with a worldwide structure, it means that we should be able to, each county will be able to present a delegate. And this delegate is going to be responsible for the affairs for that country. So he's going to work closely with LGA worldwide administrator for the LGAs located in that country. So for example, we take an example of MESAM. So it means that MESAM will be able to have a county chair, and he will be able to make sure he works closely with the LGA representative for Bafut, Bali, Santa, Bamenda Central 1, 2, 3, and Tuba. So that is how it's going to operate. Again, maybe this is a micro organization, but as we go on, we're going to see how simple it is. But any questions that you have, keep them at the end. You can be able to ask these questions, and we will be able to look at it. Then on ground zero, this is a different case, because we need representation on ground zero. And because we are at war on ground zero, it is the responsibility of the committees created by worldwide LGAs for that LGA to select, again, a reputable, a trustworthy individual to be able to act as the LGA representative on ground zero for that LGA. That is important, because we need real-time information about the needs of the people, be it food needs, be it medical needs, be it self-defense needs, or we just close it, humanitarian needs. Please, we need individuals who are ready to work, who are ready to be selfless, in order to update us on everything that is happening in their local government areas. Excuse me. Then, the fourth government policy is encouraging Amazonians in defending or helping homeland responsibly. This, we're going to be talking of transparency and good governance by entrusting shared leadership values at grassroots levels. With shared leadership, we're talking of the government and the local government working in sync to make sure that things happen. It's going to be accountability on both sides. The government will be accountable for any resources taken from the local government areas. As we see, that's because of solidarity we want to have among local government areas. We'll be expecting local government areas to be able to give 20% of the proceeds to the government to help impoverished local government areas and other type of local government areas, which I'm going to describe in this presentation down the line. Then the second point is to avoid, because we get questions about the warlord situation arising, we do have a federal force which will be funded by the government. So it will be able, the challenge here is we want and we want to reiterate that the funding of ground zero self-defense should come from the worldwide LGA committee, not from local LGA committees. That is how it has to work. And the LGA worldwide committees will be able to get intelligence from ASC and from HSS. for any humanitarian issues. So work together with this department to be able to achieve your goal in your local government areas. So what are the responsibilities of the federal government in order to say, bring stability, integrity, and security? There are two things. We're going to look at it. What is the government going to do on ground zero? What are the responsibilities of government on ground zero? And what are the responsibilities of the government in the diaspora? On ground zero, we see that the government is responsible to support impoverished local government areas. Those local government areas that do not have sufficient individuals in the diaspora to raise enough funds to support the efforts of the people on the ground or to support humanitarian issues in that local government area. We also have border local government areas. These are troubled local government areas which border the enemies or which have borders with the Republic. And then we also have this issue which I discussed earlier is the warlord issues. So the federal force should be able to intervene and do something. And then we have hot LGAs. Hot LGAs would be those local government areas that are constantly attacked by the enemies. So the government should be able to step in and do something. Then the duties in the diaspora, I mean, we have myriads of them. Diplomatic offensive and advocacy. Then community development funds, and then international state obligations, humanitarian responsibilities like for those who are displaced, the refugees. These are still the responsibility of government. Our brothers and sisters in jail, these are still the responsibility of the government. If they need lawyers, if they need food and all the like, if some of them are sick, ill, we still make sure we have to step in to do something. So the government, the federal government will be doing a lot, and we are expecting people through the local government area to be doing much too. So what is the solution of all this? If we're looking at this diagram, I've just depicted here, we're talking of the Amber. So we want to do this in two phases. Phase one would be a Christmas gift. We were expecting every local government area to generate a sum of 25,000 worldwide for their local government area. And then the second phase is the maintenance phase, which will be decided by the different local government area, depending on the amount of money or the funds they have in their accounts. Again, local government areas will manage their funds. So from the 100% of funds generated, 80% of these funds will go into the local government area and managed by the local government area committee at worldwide level. Then 20%, we call it back off for ground zero. And I've explained, this will go to the government. And the intention of these funds is for government to use for the federal force and also to help impoverish LGAs, hot LGAs, and border LGAs. So it is important that we, as local government area, should be able to support the government in the efforts of putting the federal force to be able to help us sustain other impoverished LGAs, border LGAs, and any other thing which has to do with ground zero. Then, as we say, there is need for us to pay our citizenship levy. And we've thought that the best thing for us to do, because citizenship levy will cover government function, diplomacy, litigation, refugees, IDPs. We've thought of $1 a day as minimum for all Amazonians in the diaspora. If you register on ambergov.org and start paying $1 a day, which is equivalent to $30 a month, the minimum, that's the basic, we have different ratios. We have the basic, we have the pillar, and other levels. If you register and start paying this amount of money, it's going to help the government in doing the things outlined here, diplomacy, litigation, and refugees and IDPs. This will help us get to Boya faster than we thought. I just expect every Ambazonian who dream of having a free nation should be able to sacrifice a minimum of $30 a month to see that we get to Boya. So, fundraising to support projects in LGA. We propose in this. So we have decentralized system, whereby I've already talked about Amba Peace Plan, which is these funds are managed by the local government areas. Then the citizenship levy will be managed by the government. That is what the government uses to be able to run the government, day-to-day activity of the government. Then we thought of restoration money fees. It's a suggestion to local government areas. You can decide to say, because our people in our local government area observe ghost town every Monday, and we go to work. Some of us earn more than 200 pounds a day or $200 a day. We can sacrifice a $5 or a $3 or a $2 on those restoration money towards our local government areas. We can do restoration monies all over. You'll be surprised how much we can be able to raise for our local government areas if we do that. And then there's a showcase for financial contribution. Accountability during a revolution is key. So what we expect to do is, through ABC Amber TV, we can be able to project statistics of how the different counties or the different local government areas are faring when it comes to contribution to support their local government areas. We can also be able to use the homepage where we'll be able to show statistics about contribution from each local government area. Is this going to help to push other local government areas to be more resourceful? If it does, then that is good. But this is important. It is important for us to know projects that have been carried out in our local government areas. It is important to know what has been done with the money people have contributed. So that is why we need to showcase financial contributions. The next thing is adopt a county or country by county solidarity fundraising. Like in the UK here, if we discover that Paco is one of the impoverished counties and that the local government areas there are not doing well in terms of raising funds, their potential, economic potential is low, we can decide to say all of us, we come together and we do a fundraising for Paco. That would be amazing. We don't know how much we'll raise, but if we raise enough money, that would be good to be able to support them. So these are all initiatives we are putting together, and we hope that these people will be elected, distinguished statesmen and women should be able to adopt this and make a nation greater. Then we have goodwill and worthy donors. There are a lot of them. There are a lot of Amazonians out there who can be able to say, okay, good, I will support this local government area with 10,000, with the 10, 100, and all the like. Again, every little helps. You just need to do your best. No money is small in this revolution. And the final one is the $1 a day to Restoration Day. Until we restore our country, if you promise yourself, I'm going to pay $1 a day for my citizenship levy, I just believe you can do it. Some of us have been doing it for the past 2 years or so. I hope others can be able to join the ship, and we keep on pushing. Again, together, we are going to achieve this. Because if we all dream of a free nation, which is our right, we deserve it, then let's work towards it. Let's not spend time writing on Facebook, writing on WhatsApp and all the like. Let's spend time talking to each other. Let's spend time looking into our communities, trying to solve the problems. Through this way, we're going to make our communities more resilient. We're going to make our communities bigger and stronger. Let's spend time talking to each other, our brothers and sisters. Let's keep our differences aside and work toward a nation that we will all like to live in. So now, what are the responsibilities of the communities and those representatives, the LGA representatives? It's a long list, but I'm just going to with little or no explanation because some of them are self-descriptive. But it is important that we know the responsibilities of the community and the responsibilities of the LGA representative, LGA coordinator, or LGA administrators and the country coordinators. This is important so that we don't get confused when we talk of the Amber Peace Plan, LGA by LGA. So, communities in countries, regions, states have the responsibility to elect trustworthy, reputable, and responsible LGA representatives. So get the best out there, and you'll be surprised with what they can do. Get people who are more motivated, people who are talented, people who want to work for the nation, people who are selfless. Then the next one is the elected LGA representative in each country, region, state, or state. That is, it can be in a country like the UK, region like in the US. I mean, we have regions and we have states like California. They shall elect a county chair who will oversee the affairs of that county in his or her country of residence. So we'll be expecting 14 county chairs anyway. Then LGA representatives from a specific LGA elected in different countries, region, or state shall work together through the LGA management committee to address issues in their LGA, which we are talking. They will have a worldwide LGA administrator, and then they have the committee, and then they'll be able to deal with issues of that local government area. As we go down, we see this point. It is the responsibility of LGA management committee in the diaspora to identify, empower trustworthy individuals who will act as LGA representatives on ground zero. I take it over. It is the responsibility. It's not the responsibility of government. It's not the responsibility of country coordinator. It is the responsibility of LGA management committee in the diaspora to identify and empower trustworthy individuals who will act as LGA representatives on ground zero. Again, we emphasize they should be trustworthy. They should be people we respect. And again, they should be ghosts. We don't need to announce their name, but we want them to work relentlessly. So that point is important, must be noted. Then all LGA worldwide administrators with country state coordinators henceforth after the approval of the Restoration Council, because this presentation needs to go through the Restoration Council, will form the lower chamber of the Representative Council. All LGA worldwide administrators, together with the country, regional, and state coordinators, will henceforth, after the approval by the Restoration Council, form the lower chamber of the Representative Council. This is part of the extended cabinet, and they will be responsible for lots of decisions because these are the people who liaise with people on the ground. They get real-time information. They are solving problems on the ground, so they need to be the voice of the people in the government. Then, still a lot to go. LGA committees shall appoint signatories to LGA dedicated accounts who will be responsible for the disbursements of funds. Again, we are exercising due diligence here. So, LGA committees shall be able to create their accounts, assign signatories to this account, and then publish these accounts with the ambergov.org. These accounts, there's a reason why I'm saying these accounts must be published, because as Dr. Ellard rightly mentioned, there are people already floating accounts out there in the names of local government areas because they are fraudsters. They want to derail the revolution. They want to starve our people back at home. They don't want money to get people on ground zero, which is what we don't want. Because, again, we must be selfless in this revolution. And people who are ruthless and behave in this way, we must curb them. We have to stop them. So, going back to bank account, LGA bank account information must be transmitted to the ambazoniangov.org to avoid circulation of fraudulent account. In case any doubts, consult with the LGA country, regional, or state representative. So there are two ways of payment. So now we are saying that the local government areas, because we're giving power to you, is power to the people. We want you to manage your resources, so you create your accounts. And the only way, we are giving you two ways of payment. Either they pay locally with their local government areas in their country of residence, or they pay through the ambergov.org, whereby you go, you select your county, you pay, and this money goes directly into your local government area account, which has been put there by your local government area administrator. That is the worldwide administrator. This is going to help us in the transparency we need, in the accountability we need, and giving power to the people as we have always promised. Then the next point here, LGA worldwide administrators shall have login credentials on the Amazonian Gulf to enable them to administer the LGA portal and help provide financial status reports to the LGA citizen. So we know the webmaster can do everything. Some people are already complaining, oh, I can't see my LGA on the map. I can't see this. So you should be able to have that privilege administration. They will give you privilege admin accounts to be able to manage the portal of your local government area. Do it the way you want. And but most importantly, it is you have to be able to find a way of generating statute reports for the people of your local government area who are contributing. It is important that you can be able to tell them at every meeting, this number of people contributed this amount, and this number from the UK, this number from Canada, this number from Dubai, this number from Malawi. You should be able to tell your people, give them these statistics, encourage them to know that the money they are contributing is helping the people on ground zero. Because it has come to a point whereby we think the community development effort is the best way we have to move this revolution to a higher gear, to a higher level. I know if you ask me now, what is the maturity level of this revolution? I may say it's 4. Is 4 good enough? I don't think it's good enough. But again, it's desirable. We've been able to get to that level. There's a bit of chaos. So we should be able to bring order through these local government area representatives, because these are people who are liaising with people on the civil society on ground zero, get real-time information, understand the needs of the people, translate it to us in the short and meantime, and we work on it together to make sure we solve this problem. They are problems. These are neighborhoods in which we grow, you know. So friends, look around. Ask your friends, you study together. Why are you not supporting the revolution? Can you be able to help? Yeah, you expect things to happen. You write on Facebook, oh, I want this to happen. But again, we need money to be able to help our brothers and sisters who have been displaced. We need money to rebuild homes that have been destroyed, villages that have been burned off. We need money to start building our nation as Ambazonia. Then, as we continue with this responsibility, LGA administrators worldwide shall elect 14 county delegates who will represent their counties. I've already talked about that. So we'll have delegates who will represent counties, and then it will have now delegates who are going to be part of the external cabinet, and then these delegates will be able to work together with worldwide LGA administrators who are working together with country, state, LGA representatives. I mean, the flow is good, and then the country coordinators come together. It's marvelous. We're getting somewhere. And the whole thing is mobilization is key. Don't be elected and you stay there and you don't do your job, because the next day you'll be kicked out of office, and we're going to look for somebody who can be able to work, and somebody who can work and work efficiently. We are all volunteers. None of us is paid to do anything here. So I just hope that you have this spirit. Use this spirit. Think about your people. Think about the suffering of the people. Think about how many of your brothers and sisters are in jail. Think about how many young people are killed every day. And do your own work. Every little help. Then all LGAs must communicate their respective treasurers to constitute the financial secretariat of the central treasury. This is very important. A uniform accounting system will be set up to ensure accountability for the LGAs. So again, we are also protecting local government areas by making sure the Treasury, they work together. Their treasurers have to work together with the Treasury. We provide a platform, a uniform accounting system which they can be able to use to do auditing and all that. So it is important because we'll be able to give report to our people and we'll be able to encourage our people to keep on donating, keep on contributing. I know some of you have contributed onto your building now. Just keep it on. Just keep it on. Our leaders are still in jail. We need to keep on working hard and harder. Then it's a long list. I think we have 2 more points to go on this one. Then, so call your country or state or the department, because we've set up a task force in the Department of Home Affairs and Resource Mobilization. Call them and ask about your elected or appointed LGA representative. That is the way you start. Then you know they will give you information which you know how to start contributing. Then foster the registration of all Ambazonians on the Ambazonian.gov.org to start paying that $1 a day or $30 a month. Please, it is important that you support the government by paying these dues, because we're going to keep records of everything people are doing. Down the line, we'll be expecting everybody to present a receipt of how much he or she has been contributing to the revolution. Down the line, we might be able to adopt a Eritrean model. If somebody in here doesn't understand the Eritrean model, it is simple. When the Eritreans were fighting for their independence, I have lots of them here, I talked to them, they had a levy to pay in order to succeed, because they didn't have government supporting them to be able to gain their independence. These people were not more than 800,000, yeah. But we are 3 million in the diaspora. But they succeeded to gain their independence from almighty Ethiopia. So please, I know we Southern Cameroonians, we Ambazonians in the diaspora, we can do it. Let's just be generous. Let's just think about our brothers and sisters. We are not doing this for our families. We are not doing this for ourselves. We are doing this for our brothers and sisters who are suffering, our brothers and sisters who desperately need this freedom. Please do your best. Then, by way of conclusion, I have a long list of people to thank here, because this work, which is just a detailed explanation, the document will still come out. It's been a lot of work in the background with a lot of people, members of the Department of Home Affairs and Resource Mobilization, cabinet members of the internal government, the Ambazonian activists, namely like many thanks to Mark Berata, Heritato, who floating around with the country by country, good ideas, which all of us have integrated to see that we're getting a great nation. We're building those big societies. I just believe this is how true statements have to work to get where we want to get. Then the web design team is marvelous. They have put in place tools that we can be able to use to pay Amber Peace Plan, or also to pay a peace, a citizenship levy. Sorry. And then we have the finance and treasury team. They were marvelous. Richard did a lot of work trying to explain things to us and trying to make sure that these things are put in place, because it's important that we have that transparency and accountability which the people of Ambazonia deserve. The communication team, many thanks to those in the communication team. They did a lot with the logo and putting us online to be able to explain things to you. The VP, many thanks. The AP, thank you for all the ideas you brought in. Dr. Elad and the rest, thank you. Then the members of the ASC, Southern Cameroon Community UK, of Friends of Liberties, thank you so much for the ideas. Then the group I would like to congratulate are the country coordinators. Thank you for the meeting out with you, for the time you gave me, listen to me, for the questions you asked, and for the improvement you're trying to bring to this project. Again, I will say you're going to be champions of this project. You're going to do your best to make sure that we implement this project successfully for our people. It is not for any individual. I know you've been working, you're selfless. Please just continue working. The Lord will bless you and reward you abundantly because you are helping people you don't even know, and you're doing your best. So this is the end. The final destination is Boya. I believe this is the last bend before the home straight. We need to build a big society. We need to increase the capabilities of our boys, our brothers and sisters on the ground. This is your responsibility. It is my responsibility. It is our responsibility. We are all. Thank you, fellow Amazonian. Thank you, distinguished statesmen and women, for listening. So this will be time for any questions. Then I'll be happy to receive them and then come back to you. Are there any questions?